The great thing about guides is that you don't have to create new content for a guide. It's all about being a queen or a king curator of content. That is what it's all about, curating your content rather than creating anything new. Hi YouTube and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm talking to you all about a brand new feature that has recently launched on Instagram, and that is Instagram Guides. So first things first, what are Instagram Guides? Essentially, they are a new feature on Instagram which allow you to create content into one guide, one place, and add context via commentary. So they're a really great way of sharing step-by-step tutorials, tips, and helpful recommendations, as well as product roundups and product wish lists and recommendations as well. If you want to know where Instagram Guides live, then if you have a look at your main profile, you'll see that there is the main grid, there is different buttons there, depending on whether people have uploaded Reels or they've uploaded IGTVs, you'll see a different selection. So on my profile, I have the grid, I have Reels, I have IGTV, and then I have a little icon that looks like an open book, a guide. That is where guides live. So why should you use Instagram Guides? Well, they are a great opportunity for growth. 9 times out of 10, when Instagram rolls out a new feature like Reels, now it's guides, it means that they are putting some weight behind that feature. They want people to start using it, utilizing it, engaging with that content. And so this is a great opportunity for you to grow. Guides also have the chance to be featured in the Explore page. So that is also why it's a great opportunity to get exposure that way, get more eyeballs on your content by being featured in the Explore page. But also just by the very nature of guides, they allow you to put a spotlight back onto content that may have not performed that well for you in the past. The beauty of guides is that you can add little descriptive explainers, little summary bits of text to go along with each post that you curate into a guide. And in that way, you can share previous posts, but you can also add a new spin on them, add a new piece of context. Maybe you have a fresh take on something that you talked about previously, or maybe you can curate a selection of your posts from your content that you shared before, but you can share it in a way that is new and interesting. And again, it's giving that previous content a new lease of life without having to create entire new posts just for a guide. So when you are on your Instagram account, what you can do is jump over so that you are looking at your own profile. If you go over there and click the plus icon in the top right-hand side of your profile, of your screen, that will give you the option of creating a feed post, a story, a highlight, an IGTV, a reel, or a guide. And you can click on that guide icon. Now, when you click on that, it will give you 3 different options of places, products, and posts. So posts, for example, this is a really versatile way to curate your previous content or your saved posts that have come from other people's Instagram accounts. You don't just have to make guides featuring your content, it can be other people's content, which is a really great aspect of guides. So that is how you can use posts, and you can curate content to tell stories, to share recommendations, to share educational content, tips and advice. So next up we have products, and this option for a guide is your way of curating products available in an Instagram shop. Now, obviously, if you are a product-based business, you can use guides to do product roundups of your different products based on the seasons, based on the type of product, based on products that are best for a certain type of person. If you aren't a product-based business though, and you are a service-based business or a content creator, you can also create product guides based on products that you love or that you want to recommend or that you use the most. So if you click on products, you can see that you can search through different Instagram shops and select products that way to add into a guide. So I'm just clicking a random one here, so that could go into my guide. Or if I jump back a moment, I can have a look at my wish list if there have been previous products that I've saved down to my wish list. I have a customizable branding questionnaire template here. So I could go through and select all of the products in my wish list and add them to a guide. So a handy tip, if you want to save time before you actually get to creating that guide, you can go through Instagram shopping, find all the products that you want to include in a guide and save them to your wish list. And then you can go and create the guide and you'll have everything saved down in your wish list ready to add. So finally, there is places, and this is a great opportunity for you to curate a guide of your favorite location-based places, whether you make a city guide or whether you do a roundup of your favorite cafes and restaurants or the most beautiful parks in your local area. You can see how versatile that kind of guide can be as well, depending on your purpose on Instagram, whether you're a business, a brand, a content creator. So that is the beauty of the places guide, of the location-based guide. And remember, you can include any kind of content within guides. It can be a reel, an IGTV, a carousel post, just a static image post. So again, they're really versatile. All types of post of content can be included within a guide. So here is a super quick step-by-step tutorial to make a posts Instagram guide. You click the plus icon when you are looking at the guides that you've created so far, or you can go up here and click guide, posts, and then I'm going to make a guide about why content planning is so important. So I'm going to select this post and this post, but I'm also going to select this post from the Content Planner Instagram account that I love, because I think that her post is going to be valuable to curate within my guide. And then I click next, and you can see that I have all of those posts saved within this guide. Here I can change the cover photo, so it can be something completely different if I don't want it to be a capture from one of the posts that are included within the guide. And then I will add the title. Done. I can add some explainer text here. And then I can add additional little subtitles to each post that I have curated within this guide. The section below allows you to add a little bit of explainer text, which is additional commentary if you'd like to add that as well, to add some additional context to each post within the guide. If you realise you don't want a post within your guide anymore, you can just click the three little dots next to one of your posts and click remove from guide, or you can click reorder. And if you hold your finger down on the hamburger icon, the three lines next to one of the posts, you can drag and drop and reorder the post that way. So number one, introduce you and your story, or your brand or business story. I'm sure you have plenty of posts that you've shared on your Instagram account before where you have told snippets of your brand story, you've shared fun facts about you or your business or brand. Maybe you've introduced team members through content before. Maybe you've shared a then and now. Maybe you've shared highs and lows. Any kind of content that you've shared on your Instagram account previously that has been telling a bit more about you or your business or brand story, you can curate those posts into a really fun introductory guide. This is a really great kind of guide for anybody that is new to your account or doesn't know much about you. They can head to that guide and they can instantly find out more about you in a really fun guide. The next kind of guide is a product roundup. So obviously this makes a huge heap of sense if you are a product-based business. You might have a variety of different kinds of products available on your Instagram shop, and using guides, you can curate these products into different roundups. So maybe you have ideal products for the season. Maybe there is a festive roundup you can do of products, or a spring ready product roundup. Maybe you have particular products that would work really well for particular types of people. You could do a product roundup based on how new someone is to your brand or business. So if they are brand new, if they are a newbie to who you are and your product lineup, maybe there is a certain selection of products that they should try first, versus somebody who knows more about you, is a bit more of a brand advocate, and they should maybe have a different product roundup based on their level of experience and knowledge with your brand and your products. The third guide idea is to create one or a few guides to act as your portfolio. So this is particularly relevant if you're a service provider or a creative of some kind, so a graphic designer, a copywriter, a web designer, and so on. However you can show off your work, you can do this in a really fun way in a guide. So you could show off previous posts that you've shared on your Instagram account where you've talked about a project you've worked on, a client that you've worked with and the results that they had, i.e. the website you designed for them, or if you're an interior designer, the before and after transformation of their home. But again, the beauty of guides is that you can also curate other people's content in that guide. So if your clients have been sharing your website that you've made for them, the home that you designed for them, the website sales page that you put together with your amazing copywriting, if they have shared content about that on their Instagram account, you can save those posts down and then curate them into your portfolio to show people what you are capable of. A really fun way of doing that so that people don't have to scroll through your entire Instagram account to find out the work you've done, to see what you're capable of, to see what your style is and your skills are. Instead, they can jump to a guide and see everything there in one place. So the next idea is to create a guide that shows off where you've been featured. So have you spoken at any events recently? Have you been featured on a podcast? Have you done some workshop trainings for an external company? All of these kinds of places where you have been featured, where maybe you've been featured in a magazine, maybe you wrote an article for a magazine. All of this is great to include in a guide. So again, if you've created posts before on your Instagram account talking about where you've been featured, include these in a guide. And if those other places, those other podcasts, those events, those publications, any external third-party Instagram accounts that have talked about you being a keynote speaker or you hosting a workshop, again, save those posts down and include them in a guide. So the next idea is client or customer transformations. And this is great whether you are a product-based business or a service-based business. You could do a roundup of client or customer results or reviews. So let's just say you're a service-based business. This is where you can create a guide that is including recent testimonials and reviews from your clients. So if, like me, you don't have a heap of reviews and testimonials and client stories on your Instagram account, so therefore you don't have heaps of past posts to save into a guide of this kind, what you can do instead is, for example, save down some posts from your recent clients, go onto their Instagram accounts and save down a recent post from the last few clients you worked with. Then you can curate them into this kind of guide, and you can use the explainer section in the guide, the bit where you add your description, your commentary. You can add some information into this section above each post in the guide where you say, this is what we did, this was the client story, this is how we worked together, and these were the results that Shayna got. These were the results that Michael got. And in that way, you are sharing your client testimonials and you are sharing those people, those clients in your guide, but you are using the commentary within the guide to add that nuance, to add that explanation. Similarly, if you are a product-based business, what you can do is you can go through some of your UGC, your user-generated content, the content that you've been tagged in that shows people using your products, whether wearing them, using them in the kitchen, applying them in their home, however people use your products. If you have some user-generated content from people, you can save down these posts, curate them into a guide, and show off how customers are using and loving your products, and adding a bit of explainer text above each post. So the penultimate guide idea is an educational guide. Now, this is where guides really come into their own. They were initially designed to be this kind of helpful, informative feature of Instagram. During the height of the global pandemic, guides were released as a place to curate wellness and health information and advice. So you could share step-by-step tutorials or tips. You could curate your best advice from your previous Instagram posts, put them into a guide. But you can also, as I said earlier, you can go through other people's content, save it down and add it into a guide of helpful, informative, educational content, but add your thoughts using the commentary. Again, because you are able to use Reels and IGTVs and carousel posts and normal posts, there's lots of different types of content you can include in a guide of this kind, which makes them really, really helpful and valuable, particularly for an educational kind of guide. So my final real idea is based on the places feature of guides. So this is where you could include guides that are based on your favorite locations, your favorite places, city guides, travel guides, your favorite cafes and restaurants, your favorite places for vegans, your favorite spots to enjoy nature, your favorite places to shop in a certain city, your favorite places to find secluded spots in a certain city, the places that the tourists don't know about. There's loads of different ways you can use this kind of guide if it is relevant for your brand and business. That's all for this week's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you feel a bit more confident about creating guides and have a few more ideas of how you could create some really great guides. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the thumbs up and the subscribe and bell button so you never miss a new video when it drops every single week. Don't forget, before you go, to check out this video that I made recently, which is all about top tips to create viral Instagram reels, and this video up here, which is my top tips to create a really great Instagram strategy for 2021. I will see you next week for a brand new video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.